are pro-government or members of the CDC or the ruling party, or they are pro-government. Tonight, we are hosting them on this special edition of Focus on Liberia, where we want to hear the voices of pro-government women. And with me is my co-host, Mr. Asonisi.
Mr. Dennis Jar, thank you. And folks in cyberspace, thank you also for joining us. I'm happy to be here. This is Focus on Liberia, and you heard Dennis right there. There is another Women's Night, but this time around, pro-government women, meaning our sisters who support the pro agenda or support all that the government is doing. We thought to bring them in today so that we can also hear from them, because on Monday we had women from the opposition bloc and we tried to play it fair, and that's why we'll do here at Focus on Liberia. So at this time, we will first welcome our guests. We will welcome them, and I will call them one by one. In the house, we have Constant Dwopo. Constant Dwopo is the chairperson of the CDC Women Wing. Mr. Dwopo, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, sir.
And also we have with us Rosalind Velen. She is based in Switzerland, and she has a show on Facebook that is called the Propo Lifestyle, and she's one of those who supports this current government. Welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, and also in the house, we have Veronica Graham. Veronica Graham is also pro-government. She supports the Weah administration. We want to take this time and welcome Veronica to Focus on Liberia. Welcome, Vero.
It's my pleasure, sir.
All right, that's the woman we have in the house so far. And I will now turn it over to Mr. Dennis Jar. Oh, not forgetting our sister Marie Payne. Marie, I'm sorry. Marie, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Please. Can you please pronounce it Pine Town, Pine.
Okay, I'm sorry, and thanks for the correction. Marie Pine, please, we want to welcome you to Focus on Liberia. Welcome. Welcome, Marie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. All right. I will now turn it over to Mr. Dennis Jad, and then we will get started here soon. Mr. Jad.
Right. Thank you. And we want to welcome all these beautiful women tonight to Focus on Liberia, discussing, all of whom are pro-government. We want to say welcome to Focus on Liberia. We want to welcome all our viewers online watching us. Later on, we're going to be joined by our West African correspondents to give us details on the events unfolding relating to Mr. Henry P. Costa in Sierra Leone. But at this time, we will want to go around the room and say welcome, and we'll give a few minutes for each of our panelists to introduce themselves and say a little thing about yourself, not forgetting your political involvement and if there's any political party affiliation. We will start with Rosalind Van Lee, all the way from Switzerland. Rosalind, a little thing about yourself.
Yes, good evening or good morning from my end, everyone. I'm happy to be here. My name is Rosalind Van Lee. The W is pronounced as a V. It's a Swiss German name. My maiden name is Yame, for those of you that don't know. Yame from Norfolk County. I am a businesswoman to start with, graduate of Ricks Institute and from Ricks Institute School of Business, and also a senior student at the University of Liberia before the war. And I've lived in Switzerland since 1990 and in the United States simultaneously. And I'm a housewife at the same time. I'm a multitask person, versatile person. Um, I'm into a series of activities, events, and businesses. And I live in Texas when I left Switzerland and moved back to Switzerland after I got married. And I've been living here back to the States and to Liberia. I left to move back to Liberia 2008 in order to be able to give back to Mama Liberia. I was into heavy duty equipment after Ellen Johnson came into power. Unfortunately for me, things didn't go the way I expected, and I had to retrieve back to Switzerland 2013. And was in Liberia. I was between Liberia and Texas. And
political party affiliation?
well, I've always been a seditious. It might not have been physically, but from the get-go, 2004, when the CDC party was founded, I was not present, but I was there in spirit. I was always a supporter of CDC from day one, and I got the opportunity to participate 2011 when I was in Liberia by voting for our dynamic president at the time when he was the second man instead of the presidential candidate, and it didn't go well. But I've always been a big supporter of President George Weah when he was here in Europe playing, and I've always give my support to him in his political life. I've always give my support because he's a humble person.
Thank you, Rosalind. Thank you. All right, folks, let's keep the introduction a little brief because we have a lot to talk about. At this time, we will invite Veronica to give us a brief introduction. Vero.
Yes, Veronica Grams. I'm originally from West Africa, Liberia, Nima County. I am a nurse by profession. I attended the Banga School of Theology. I'm a practicing minister. I am a wife and a mother. I am a strong supporter of President George Weah, and I don't feel ashamed to say it in or out. And I am so happy to be here at this time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Veronica. This time we go to Marie Pine. I'm very careful to call that Pine. Marie, welcome. A brief introduction about yourself.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm a mother of three, hardworking. I just supported John Weah because when someone doing the right thing, you have to be in support of them, because people will say everything negative about him, and we cannot sit down as a Liberian and just shut our mouth without saying something, without supporting him to do the right thing. Anyway, I'm from Sano County. I'm a Weah woman, and I in support of the CDC party. And I joined the CDC Women Wing when it established. So that's what I can say about myself for now. But I'm here to answer any question that you guys were able to throw at me. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And we will bring in Constant Dopo for a little brief introduction.
Good evening, everyone, and I am so humbled to be on your platform. I'm glad that you are giving women the time to express themselves politically. I'm the chair lady of CDC-USA. My political affiliation has been CDC. Since after the war, I decided that all the people on the, that were parading in Liberia, all the political parties did not have any different ideology that they were bringing to the Liberian people. So I sat quietly and waited, did not participate much in politics, but I was engaged in advocacy. And then when I came to the United States, then we gave birth to CDC. At this time, I worked as a social worker. I earned a master's degree in Health and Human Services Administration. And I am here to promote my president's agenda in every way and will do all I can to support and speak on behalf of the CDC-led government. So focus on Liberia. Thank you so much for giving us the platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Constant Dropo. And today there was an update from Sierra Leone concerning the leader of the COP, that is the Council of Patriots, Mr. Henry Pedro Costa. And so we have our West African correspondent, Mr. Edward Amara, based in Freetown, Sierra Leone. He's going to give us a brief update on the events as they unfold surrounding Mr. Henry Costa. And after that, he can take leave, and then we can go into our program for tonight. Mr. Edward Amara, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, Mr. Jaya, and good evening to all your beautiful and dynamic guests. I'm very happy joining you people from and this morning hours here. Yeah, just to give you a brief rundown of what actually transpired today, because I think we just woke up with the breaking news today in Sierra Leone that Henry Costa, who is the leader of the Country of Patriots in Sierra Leone, was actually arrested at the Lunge airport and detained, and he was actually waiting extradition. That was the initial news that we have been wired out on social media here. However, since the social media is not always taken as a reliable source, the government was quick to counteract and said that they have Henry Costa in their custody, but they haven't received any tangible information on the side of Liberia incriminating him for him to be arrested. And he being a kind of civil activist, he has the right to protest whenever he feels and thinks that the country is not running according to the social contract that George Weah signed. And on that backdrop, information we have been released that Henry Costa is under protective police custody. Then the information minister, that is Mohamed Abdul Rahman Masari, was contacted to give something. He said the government of Sierra Leone are not going to take any detection from any government, neither any person. All what they know, they are going to do thorough investigation and see how the case can be ascertained. And a group of civil society members here gang up together and wrote a press release to the government demanding for the release of Henry Costa and he should proceed under to join in America as long as he feel and think that his life in Liberia is being threatened. But having the kind of cordial relationship between Liberia and Sierra Leone, all know when the Chastillo case was here, Chastillo was being extradited from Liberia to Sierra Leone for him to face the criminal court. So the government actually was trying to make certain to see whether this man did not commit any other crime over there that may actually put the two-country reputation at stake, because they have to maintain their foreign policy. By noon, we heard that the government is going to have a press conference, and journalists were actually trying to get in contact with exactly what is going to happen. Then finally, we had the kind of from the Minister of Information that Henry Costa is not under any strict police custody. All they know, he is being investigated, and if all information that are going to be gathered pertaining to the person are not incriminating him, then the government has the right to release him because he's a West African citizen and ECOWAS citizen. He has a passport that may actually warrant him to leave. So this society also went up to make a press release that they are serving as a watchdog, and they are not going to relent from demanding for Henry Costa. This lawyer also made certain attempt. That is one moment to that is the legal aid body here they met him. And this latest this evening, we are hearing that Henry Costa has actually been given the green light to proceed to Istanbul. He will definitely leave for the America. And this information have not been confirmed by the government, but normally when there is a rumor, there are some amount of elements or truth. But he Costa also said that he's not under any strict police restriction. The most important thing is that his freedom has actually been restricted. Because as long as he's under strict police custody, he is not given the right to live freely, but he may be living anytime from now. And I believe if what we are hearing from social media or other sources, by tomorrow morning on our tea break, possibly Henry Costa will be leaving for America, where he want to head to and perhaps continue his protest against the government, as he decided to do it. But the Australian government had just decided to take their stand and listen to his own complaint and just allow Liberia to do their problem independently.
So Edward, why was he arrested in the first place? Upon whose orders?
I think he was arrested based on the rumor that was coming to Sierra Leone. You know, the issue in Liberia have been vuvuzelaing for quite a long time. We all know the development over there. And when Henry Costa left there, he came, we collected information that Henry Costa was actually heading to the border of Sierra Leone, and the immigration officers we have been alerted. When he entered with a kind of diplomatic passport heading to Turkey. So they said that they have collected certain rumor from Liberia that somebody who is actually a security threat is leaving from Liberia heading to Turkey, and he wants to leave for America. So he should be detained and extradited to Liberia immediately. So when that rumor was received in Sierra Leone, the police at the Lunge airport, that is the international airport in Sierra Leone, we are also being alerted. So upon arrival, he was actually cordially called to the booth of the police. He was being interrogated and asked that they have received information pertaining his person. He's not actually under strict police custody, but based on the information, they need to vet everything out. If there is nothing found wanting against his person, he will definitely be released. But with that particular scene that happened, the news just escalated, and some of the civil society members picked it up, and the press was being released. So all the information the information that they gathered from Liberia was what they acted on, but the information was only used as a source.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Edward Amara, our correspondent there in Freetown, Sierra Leone. So please keep us updated as new details unfold surrounding Mr. Henry Pedro Costa. Thank you. And
investigate whether it is true or not. But however, the Sierra Leone government did not say they are going to hold on to him, neither sees it.
Thank you, Mr. Amara. So please keep us updated, and take care now. Goodbye and God bless. Back to you, Mr. Good night.
Okay, folks, in cyberspace, again, this is Focus on Liberia, and we are having a midweek special, a ladies' night, and this time around we have pro-government women in the house, comfortably seated, to go into the conversation. If you have just joined us, we'll ask you to hit that share button, because it's going to be thrilling with these wonderful women here in studio with us. Ladies, let's get started here. And let's get started here, starting with you. Let's start with Constant. We have an opening question, and our opening question is, what is your overall assessment of—
Can you please bring me on a video?
All right. So
what is your overall assessment of the Weah administration?
Excuse me, Anthony, can you bring Rosalie on? Let me try to get on the video, because I don't know why my video is not on. So can you talk to Rosalie, and then I will come in once I can get on the video?
All right, thank you.
I'm trying to fix it, yeah.
So now we will go to Rosalie. Rosalie, you have been supporting the government for 2 years now. What's your overall assessment? Is the government doing good?
Absolutely. The government is doing good. The government is doing fabulous, if I may say.
And why you say that?
Well, since 2018, January, the government took seat, and unfortunately for the country, the government inherited a broken economy, and since then, the government has been striving by all means possible to be able to get the country moving forward, get the economy on course, and everything that was planned and that we campaigned upon has been focused on, like building up the economy, road constructions, infrastructures, our healthcare, education, all of these things that we sorely need in our country has been focused on by this government, and they have never deterred. With all of the drama, with all of the different insults on a daily basis, the government has been focused. Our president has been focused to make things right in the country.
Thank you so very much. And at this time, we will go to Veronica for her opening statement. Vero, it's been 2 years now, and the Weah administration has been steering the affairs of the country. What's your assessment? You think they're doing good so far?
The Weah administration is doing excellent in that country because we all know when Weah took office, the economic status that were in the country. And we all know how our country was looking in terms of it being bright, in terms of road construction, in terms of education. But Weah and his team are doing excellent. Now you can drive in Monrovia on some streets that have been paved years back. And every time people say they're going to put quota on that street, it's never possible. But even though everybody is fighting this man, but he focused and he delivering his campaign promises. The University of Liberia students are stand to be corrected in the history for a president to say, I am going to, or my government going to take the responsibility to pay the tuition for all of the students in the university. That is just applause. Now, nobody has ever done in the history of Liberia. That is a sign that even though he's a president, but when he leaves, he wants other people to be competent. He wants other people to steer the ship when he leaves. And besides, our women empowerment, women are not able, for example, like you guys are doing tonight, women are not able to stand out there and possibly express themselves because they all have equal education. There's nobody will get excuse. I don't have the means to go to college. So Weah administration is doing extremely well. Since this man took office, everybody been fighting him. Oppositions been fighting him. All kind of group, as you name it, they have been fighting him. Trust me, if he was a leader, you are going to miss a focus. With all of the noise they're causing behind him, this man is still focused. Everything that he ever said during his campaign, at least step by step, he's doing them. Step by step, he's doing them. It's not possible for him to restore the economy in 2 years' time, but the economy is getting better. So again, on this topic, I would say, on the general, the CDC-led government is doing just excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's come to you, Rosalind.
Yeah, I think we lost two of the guests. They are trying to come back in. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say welcome to Focus on Liberia. Tonight, we are having a conversation with pro-government women The first one you heard there, they are making the assessment of the government for 2 years now. So we have two more that will be joining us shortly. They are having some technical difficulties, but we want you to hit the share video, invite the share button, invite a friend, and let's join the conversation. We encourage all our folks on Facebook watching us live to share this show and be part of the discussion. We trust, as always, that you're going to be respectful of the platform and our guests so that we all can contribute and talk about Mama Liberia. Back to you, Asani.
Thank you there, Mr. Dennis Yard. Ladies, let us go into our conversation. Last Monday, we brought in women from the opposition to give their view of the government. And they said a lot of things that we want you to respond to. Our hope is that you have had the opportunity to watch the video, and listen to what they had to say. But we will just give you a few. In summary, when the ladies came, they said the Weah government is not doing good, it's performing very, very poorly. So we asked them, is there anything good, at least one, that the government is doing? They said absolutely zero. And they went on to say that the only good thing they know that is happening right now in the country is that President Weah and his government are yet to kill the Liberian people. In other words, only the Liberian people have their life. That's the only thing that's happening in the country. But in terms of the economy, the rule of law, everything, nothing going well for the country. That was what they said. And then we pushed in on Henry Costa. They said Henry Costa is the Moses of Liberia as we speak. Henry Costa is the Mandela of Liberia as we speak. And so those were just few of the things they said. So we want to give you the opportunity to respond to your friends what they had to say. So let's start with you, Sis Rosalind. What do you think? You agree with them?
It's laughable. How in the world can I agree with a group of women that have no idea, have no clue of what is unfolding in their country? For them to sit and be just bold and blankly accusing this leadership of all of the accusation they made is really, really laughable, because there's no no sound-minded person will look at this government with all of the financial situation, the economic crisis we've had after a 12 years government had not put into place, excuse me, and this government is trying all her best to make sure that kids stay in school, to make sure that people get on salary, to make sure that the harmonization work for every well-meaning Liberian, for us to put our healthcare system into play, into order. If you guys have followed when this government took over, our referral hospital, JFK, was as if to say it was never a hospital that was referred to as a referral hospital, one of our prestigious hospitals in the nation. When this government took over, all we saw at JFK was chaos. Like, people never went in there that were sick and needed to be cured. There were dirt and garbage all over. The operation rooms were destroyed. There were no lights. People were dying on a daily basis as you arrived. And this government had to get in and was able to clean house, were able to replace some equipment. I mean, just one of the examples of the work of this government. And it's very important that we note that, because it's healthcare. It has to do with our health, that a nation of 4.5 million people cannot be able to sustain a hospital like John F. Kennedy. So,
Roslyn,
go ahead.
I believe some people listening to you now might be wondering, because you just said when the administration took over, JFK was not a hospital that you could go to get treatment.
Not at all.
The place was dirty and filthy.
Your call has been forwarded.
And somebody listening to you maybe might have worked at the hospital, might say this is not true. That hospital was working during Ellen's time. So how can you say that, the hospital was virtually like dead? How can you say that?
Of course, we had a government of 12 years. No doubt we had a government, but they did not do well, especially when it comes to our hospitals, most especially our referral hospital. I don't care if people are working there, they want to say what they want to say. We saw it. Everybody saw it. There are videos around, they're on record that the place was unkept. We had a operation room that did not have operation lights. This government had to replace all of the equipment, renovated the hospital, if I should say.
Yeah, you got it.
And the government went ahead for the first of its kind to move on to building our military hospital, which is the 14th military hospital we never had in Liberia since the existence of Liberia. So how can anybody want to come and debunk that JFK was a place where people would go and it was a clean and humble place to be? Maybe partially, but not the whole hospital.
Roslyn, during Ellen.
All right, we got Constance now. Constance, and we'll continue with Roslyn in a bit, but at this time, I want to bring on Constance Duopo. Constance, please introduce yourself and give your, okay, you already introduced yourself, give your general assessment of the Weah administration, and if possible, compare that to the the first 2 years of Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Thank you, Mr. Jai and Mr. Sia, for having us on tonight. I will say the CDC and the coalition-led government is, if I were to grade them, I would say 99% they are doing good. The president and his cabinet are working harder to deliver the Liberian people from their impoverished lifestyle. And I know opposition probably will soon come under here to start insulting and saying it, but they are entitled to their opinion. What I see now in Liberia after this inauguration, the government has embarked upon numerous projects. I know people will bring about $16 billion, $25 million, false information, baseless accusation. But what I know, the president, Dr. George Manuel Weah, and his administration are working tirelessly to deliver the Liberian people from poverty. That's his goal. And change is a process. It's not a one-time thing you go and see it. Changes are taking place, people are working, but it's not in the spotlight. It's going to take time. We are just in the second year. We just passed, going to the third year. Until Liberians can learn to be patient and not allow people who do not have solution to our problem to present themselves as heroes. They are not heroes to the Liberian people. The opposition, we know where they came from. The progressive, we know they had their own problem. They failed miserably. They laid the foundation, they laid the groundwork, but they could not deliver. They could, some point in time in the middle, they could not connect with the people. And Charles Taylor stole the spotlight from there. Ellen Johnson stole the spotlight from there. And now they think, opposition think they can push this president around because they think in their head, because that's their perception of him. It's not what it is. There is something called the known and the unknown. In between is the perception, and that is why the opposition are selling to the Liberian people. But this government is doing well. This government is up to the tax. You talk about Ellen, I don't know what you guys want us to compare. It's just been 2 years. But take, for example, Ellen was given lots of money. She did not even rehabilitate the people she put in the street, the child soldiers that she gave guns to kill and slaughter their own parents. She did not rehabilitate them. That's the first thing. And the opposition sat there. They did not speak against her. It was only CDC who stood up to Ellen Johnson. And now they're going to gang up against CDC-led government. They are all going to fail because we know why. They are not the alternative to our problem. And I am here to accreditize the government. I am here to accreditize the government, the CDC coalition-led government, in any way, form, or shape, 24 hours. I will promote this government because this government is the best government for the Republic of Liberia. And those who think that in the past, what they did, they misshaped belief ideology, archaic ideology that we now hold in this time of the 21st century. They think they can use those same rhetorics to fool the Liberian poor, put them in the street. It's just a matter of time, and Liberian poor going to say, hey, you know what? This is not working. This is not working. It's not going to work. Why it is true, they think the government is not performing, but the people that voted our president believe in him, and they know that before the 6 year can come to an end, Liberia will never be the same. Liberia will never be the same. So I will pause here and wait.
Right, thank you. And before I send it back to Asuni, let me admonish those that are on Facebook. We want you to be very respectful to our guests, our panelists, and also to the platform, and also to us as a moderator of this show. This is Liberia. Everyone is entitled to their view, and so we want you to be respectful. You will have an opportunity to make your comments, and those comments will be read. You ask questions. If you think somebody is not saying the truth, you have all right to refute that, and we're going to read your comment. But please be respectful. This is unlike other platforms where insult has become the normal. So we encourage you to be respectful, and we will plead with you, please be respectful. Back to you, Asuni.
Thank you, Mr. John. Let's go to Veronica. Vero.
Yes, sir.
I earlier talked about what the opposition women we had said about the government. For them, they don't see anything. They said the only good thing that happening is that the Liberian people still have their life. Other than that, it's just suffering in the country, corruption all over the place. Nothing good is happening.
I strongly disagree with the opposition women, and I'm thinking whether they are really saying or they are just responding because of hate. But if they are responding because of hate, I don't really blame them because they're entitled to their opinion. But if they are saying, I'm really disappointed for them to say this current government is not doing anything. Apparently, some of them have not traveled to Liberia to see the development that is taking place, because some people just conclude and make a decision on what is going on Facebook. But if some of them take the decision to fly Liberia to see the development that is going on in Liberia, this government is building homes for the homeless. This government is helping single mothers. This government is helping children that cannot afford their own school fees to the university. This government is sending people out of the country to specialize. So what else can the government do? Just the comparison with Henry Costa with Madeira or Nelson Mandela, there's no comparison. When last did they see Nelson Mandela advocating for his own interests? When last did they, sometimes it's good to make comparison that have little similarity. When last in the history of Nelson Mandela, his fighting he did, his advocacy he did, when last did he ever go out there for bribing? When last did he ever go to threaten? When last did he ever see Nelson Mandela insulting? Even though he was treated the way he was, but he was always a humble person. But now one little boy insulting doesn't even have respect for womanhood, doesn't even have respect for a leader, and you're going to compare that with somebody that fought and released people and free people? No, there's no comparison. Why were you comparing with Martin Luther King? There is no comparison. Martin Luther King stood firm in this country, and he had a dream, and the dream he had came to pass today. Like you can see the whites and the black riding in the same bus. Like you can see the whites and the black going to the same school. Martin Luther King did not insult. Martin Luther King was not violence. His protests were always peaceful. So there's no comparison. If they are making comparison that Costa is a Madeira or Martin Luther King or Moses, I don't know. I don't know what the similarity. I don't know where they came out with that ideology that Costa is this, is that. Because there's no similarity, there's no comparison. Every fighting that was done by those people, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, never I've yet to see somebody show me the reference that they were in the street insulting, abusing, causing chaos. You know, for example, when last the Martin Luther King ever stage a protest and stopped students from going to schools? When last the Mandela ever staged a protest that stopped students from going to school, that stopped employees from going to work? Or somebody going to cause chaos in the country? Our kids are already traumatized. We're trying to de-traumatize them. They making them to feel that, you know, violence is the order of the day. And then somebody's going to compare him with Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King did not even run away. He did not even retract. Martin Luther King stood firm for what he preached in a very obedient way. The same thing with Nelson Mandela. Because of that, even though he was old, but they still voted him to be president. So when the opposition, women comparing Nelson Mandela, in fact, Costa with Nelson Mandela, it just disappoints me that whether we're reading our history of those people that were making comparison on to Costa. So I just want to say for that, there's no comparison, but for the aspect, or then I say what the CDC-led government is doing in Liberia, it's also disappointing. Apparently, they are not saying, they just coming with one idea of it. And if you come with one idea of it, even if you don't love somebody, or for any reason, at least acknowledge a little bit of what the person had done. Sending our children to school free, helping our homeless mother to build home for them, you know, creating roads that will enable us to have free transportation, you know, water system, sending people out of the country to specialize. You know, you want to tell me you can't see those things, and you're going to say you don't see a thing. So I strongly disagree with their point.
Thank you. One more thing. We asked that from your perspective, that it has just been 2 years and that people should give the president a chance to complete his project. To that, their response was 2 years is too soon, but it's not too soon for him to fly private jet. 2 years is not soon for the president to build duplexes. 2 years is not soon for him to amass wealth and all that. So what do you say to the charge against the president that if 2 years is too soon for him to get the economy back, why is it not too soon for him to get wealth for himself? What's your response?
My response to that is, if the opposition women think that the economy that has been broken since 1847, from the establishment, if they think that George upon Weah or the CDC-led government can build it within 2 years, it's not possible. They will, but they are getting there. Okay. They are getting there, and we can see the big change. Okay, the aspect of he flying private jet, or the aspect of he building houses. And one thing that, you know, sometimes I said and read thing, what is going on with us is people just go on Facebook and say things that they don't even have information about. People just go. We have a government in Liberia. We have the executive. We have the legislature. We have the judiciary. And we have entities that are responsible for a particular thing. So you want to tell me those guys are sitting there, they will just sit out there and judge upon we are go and say, oh, you give me the bank key, let me draw the, oh, you representative, keep quiet, don't say something, oh, you senator. So sometimes when they are making the accusation, I wonder that whether some of them ever studied elementary history or civic whether they know that there are three branches of government. All the things, 16 billion, 20 billion, he took the money to buy a private jet, he built a duplex for the government, and Liberia people money. The question I will ask them, what are their contributions to the country? What have they done? We are in America. How many children are they sponsoring in Liberia? Let us know, yeah. What are their contributions? Their contribution is just to destroy the effort of the president. So all that accusation, it just Facebook talk. But the president did not go to the cover to steal Liberia people money to build whatever he building. Whatever he building, he is his own hard-earned money. And I'm glad he's doing it in Liberia. Now that the others are doing it out of the country, now the others are got marshal in South Africa. So because he's doing it out of Liberia, they will do all they can do to tinter him to low ugly. No, that's not true, not to me. Because I know whatever upon doing is transparent, is free, and is fair. Because he's not the only person running the country. We have three branches of government running the country. We have parliament, we have cabinet ministers. So those guys are now crazy that they will just sit down for Oppo to say, you give me this, you give me that, you give me this. But all the things they are saying, Dennis and Mr. said, they are just false accusations that they don't even have proof for. But because they have hate, all they see is hate, they will just see the negativity and don't see any positivity.
Thank you again, folks in cyberspace. This is Focus on Liberia. It's ladies' night, and we have pro-government women in the house, and they are responding to what the opposition women said when we had them on Monday, and they will also talk about what their government or the government is doing to improve our country. Let's come to you, Sis Rosalind. And we just listened to your friend, Veronica. She said all the things people saying is just rumors. They have no proof. In fact, the president had his own money, but the president declared asset in 2005. And when he make it public, it didn't show even $1 million. In 2011, he declared his asset. It did not even show 250,000 United States dollars. And then when the president, according to him, declared his asset this time, he didn't even show it. So some people are assuming that, okay, this time around, maybe that was $0. So that's why the president didn't show it. So to say that the president had money, people say, but how are we going to know if he's not willing to disclose his assets? So you want to speak to that?
Sure. And let me thank my two sisters, Veronica and Constance, for the outspokenness and they were well spoken on the issues. Let me add to what Veronica was saying on the line of the president's wealth and his achievement and what have you. And they're all truth. The fact of the matter here, those women that came on your show day before yesterday, their only concern is about inciting the nation, inciting the poor people that have little understanding of what is transpiring in our country. So all their focus is to, if we cannot be the winner, or if we cannot get the president to weaken his spirit, if we cannot get him to undo all of the things that he's doing, all we're gonna focus on is to destroy him. And this is their focus. Their focus is to destroy everything this president have planned to do for our country, Liberia. And you speaking on his declaration of his assets. Let me just say this. I first of all, I don't know where is this coming from. I think we borrow it from the United States, because growing up, I don't remember where people were debating on the president did not declare their assets to be able to be leader of our country. And having said that, we have all of these things now in our system. Before you run for office, you have to declare your assets. And since the president ran for the presidency in 2005, he declared his asset, and he made it clear, if you want to know my asset, It's there. Go to any go to National Election Commission or and go and take me to court so you can be what to, your point can be proven well, because he's not going to be passing around that he declare his asset and showing a paper like leaflets and just be spraying it around. This is my asset. This is my asset. He said it clear on BBC, if I may say, that he have to protect his family. He has family to protect, knowing very well the kind of a country that we have. People envy you for the smallest thing. For the smallest thing, because they don't have and you have that, they're going to envy you. And that is what's going on right now as we speak. Whatever it is this person is doing that is benefiting poor people on a daily basis, the opposition bloc chose not to see it. They deny that they haven't seen it, but we on a daily basis, things are unfolding. We see road construction going on. We see students have been given the WIAC feeds and study class for the WIAC since Eddie Johnson's government. Do you know that the percentage of students that made up to the WIAC, able to pass a government exam to be able to further their education? There were very little, almost zero. And why would they not see that? Why these women, they call themselves, they should be mothers, that they won't see all of the doing of this president that want to impact the livelihood of the poor people, the downtrodden. If they can see that, I don't know what they are looking for in this government to see. But their tangibles are there and they refuse to see it. And I don't think this president is going to be deterred from doing what he promised the Liberian people to do. Coming to his wealth, first of all, he is the president. He is the president of the Republic of Liberia, the highest pay in the nation. Okay, so if you are trying to calculate his wealth, let's say he didn't come into power with anything, but what's over his salary? And this man have kids that are millionaires. If even he was not making the money because Liberia is a poor country, he would be able to survive. He would be able to help people like he has always done when he was on the soccer field. And he was the first person when we had crisis in Liberia was able to go from camp to camp, was able to take care of people, send people to school and feed people and what have you. And they cannot see that. So the only thing I see here is just a petty hit, jealousy, envy, and they are angry because they lost their elections. They are all opposition. They are unity partisans. There are all the other political parties, you know, from that bloc. So I don't expect them to praise the government when they're achieving things. I mean, at least what they can do is to try to be a little bit balanced, but to just be blunt and say that the president is not doing anything, everything is done is zero. I find that very, very hard to understand.
Thank you.
Rosalind, those talking, like some of us who have relatives, we have friends, not all the people that are crying about things being hard in Liberia that the president is not doing well, not all of them are Unity Party members or even opposition.
Dennis, can I say something about that, please?
Say that again.
Not you are saying that the people that they are doing this because they lost the election and they are opposition. That's why they are criticizing the president. I have friends, relatives in Liberia who are not partisans and they are saying the same thing.
Well, these people that came on your show, the other one I'm referring to.
Okay.
I'm referring to those that came on your show and they were bluntly saying that the government is doing nothing at all, but the list goes on and on and on and on. Things that we never had in our existence since the existence of the Republic of Liberia. We're seeing it now. We never had before. We never had any free education, higher learning in the Republic of Liberia. We never seen anything called study class to be able to pass the WIAC paid. by the government. And because when the kids go to appreciate him, he always tell them, tell your parents thank you, because that's the kind of person he is. He is not a selfish person. He's a very humble guy, and this is what he believes in. If you are happy, then thank you. Go and tell your parents thank you for paying taxes, even though most of how many people pay taxes in Liberia anyways. But he will refer to them. Don't give me all the credit. Give the credit to your parents because they pay taxes. And I think it's something we should appreciate of a leader of such. He is not a dictator, if I may add to that. I mean, it's just a bucket of goodies that this government is doing.
Thank you. Veronica wanted to come in, but Veronica, hold your thought. I will come to you before going to Constant. Constant, one of the issue here is the government rape cases have gone up. There is lawlessness. That was the charge that was laid by the opposition women, and that there has been more suffering created since President Weah took over. But think about that. Let me bring in Veronica, who had something to say just before you come in. Veronica, go ahead. What you wanted to say?
Thank you.
Then Constant can come in.
I just wanted to make a comment regarding the statement that you made that some of your family members are complaining, even though they are not opposition. Well, one thing I know is that we Liberians always complain, and most of us just follow the crowd. So for complaining, people will complain. Because the problem is most of us Liberia sometimes used to get the free thing. Now somebody should just come and say, okay, yeah, this is the get on the table, and we just get that and don't think about what happens tomorrow. That's not the case with John Weah. He's not a leader that give people fish. He's a leader that teach you how to fish. That's why he's sending our young people to the university. That's why he's paying the wire fees for other people. That has always been in Liberia. Even when Charles said was there, that was the same song. When Eddie was there, that was the same song. And the only reason that open on the music is so louder than the other, the music is the oppositions are trying to fight this boy. Because things that they did not do, why is the boy doing it? This is just a little boy, a little country boy. We did not do that. We did not do that. Why he doing it? So let's see what we can do to make him to not be focused and to make him to deviate from his promises that he gave the Liberian people.
Veronica.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think the opposition doing what they're supposed to do by criticizing the government, holding the government accountable? Didn't the CDC do that? So why are you having a problem with it?
I'm not against anybody criticizing the government in a positive way, but I'm against you criticizing the government in a hate way. What am I trying to say?
What's your definition of hate?
Hate is, for example, the ladies were on the show on Monday and they are saying they cannot see anything that CDC-led government is doing in Liberia. You right there. I know you didn't agree with them, but that's not your place because you are the host. Hate is people standing in the streets and just insulting and just misleading our youth to take against their government. Hate is people are not interpreting the right thing. Hate is people are misinforming our people about this government. Hate is people are not appreciating what this man is doing, taking from Liberia from ground zero and trying to help for the economies to build up. That's hate. And he opened your eyes to all of them. But nobody. So those are some of the hate. Why will you come on the show and say you don't see anything, absolutely nothing that the government is doing? Ain't it somebody that doesn't have hate will say that? No.
Vero.
The hate I'm talking about.
Vero.
Yeah.
The hate word here has become like a drum that people beat. During Ellen time, we didn't hear this noise about hate. People are holding the government accountable. That is their right to do. And, the pro-government people now came up with their word, hate. Is that a way of silencing people from not saying anything?
That is not the way of silent people or not saying anything. CDC criticized Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government, as I agree, but they did not do it in a very respectful manner. They did not do that in a very respectful manner. They just called Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to attention on one of few things. But tell me whoever was in CDC government that ever said they were going to go to the marshal to drag Ellen Johnson Sirleaf from her head to the floor. So tell me who are in CDC government. All of the criticizing they were doing, that ever went and going into Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, personal thing, like, oh, whoever asked for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf father, whoever asked for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf mother. So I'm not saying every citizen has the right to correct the government, but it's not the word on
Ellen was criticized. My memory tells me at some point, even seditionists will insult her. My memory tells me at some point, seditionists were even hold on her clothes and pour water on it, and then they would say that was for Ellen. So for you to say that, CDC did not do that, I don't know whether that is true.
That's positive truth. I'm telling you the truth. Can you give me the instance that any sedition said that they were going to go drag Ellen Johnson Sirleaf from her night to out of the executive marshal? Did any of them ever threaten that?
Talked about during their protest, they raised woman on her clothes and they said that was for her.
Again, can you tell me in any of the CDC protests that they ever said they were going to go and drag Ellen Johnson Sirleaf from the marshal?
All right, thank you, Lely Fidel. Let's go to our sister, Constant Dopo. Mistress Dopo, I think you had a question. Go ahead. If you want me to remind you, when we had the opposition women, they said rape is on the increase and the president and the government not doing anything about it. Lawlessness has become the order of the day. They talk about most suffering has been created in the country. And I show by that they meant that the prices of all the food or basic commodity gone up and they stay up, they can't come down. Your time to respond or forever hold your peace.
First of all, the ladies you have, I want to be very respectful of women because I'm a lady and I'm an advocate of women's rights and freedom of expression. But the accusation that they made that rape is on the rise in Liberia. Are they forgetting when Ellen freed the man that raped little injured or lady, that old lady freed that man under her administration, but yet other people were killed under her watch? Where were these ladies? The question these ladies should be asking at this time that is passing is the need to ask the hard question. What has gone wrong in Liberia? Who are those responsible for all the ills in our society today? If these ladies, those ladies that you had on your show on Monday, are brave to answer this question, if they had answer to this question, they will not be laboring such false accusation against other people. Rape is not common in Liberia, and I'm not condoning rape. No one should be raped. Even the oldest woman on planet Earth shouldn't rape. But to come on this platform that you gave them the opportunity to speak to issues, to speak to the truth, and they are here making up stories, baseless things saying that rape is on the rise. If we take statistics, Ellen was in government for 12 years. This government has just been there in 2 years. If you are talking rape is on the rise, what are the figures they are using? What are they using to measure? What are the data? They should be giving, they shouldn't just come and generalize rape is on the rise, rape is on the rise. No, that's not how we go about it. When you're ready to make your accusation, who have you taken to court? Take the number of rape cases during Ellen Johnson or Sirleaf term. That was just her first year. If there were 5, how long it took them to try those cases, and come to President Weah and see how many rape cases in the first year, how long it took them to take the culprit to trial, and what were the decision and the judgment rendered. But you cannot just walk the street like you go to Douala Market and just take any kind of rumors. People, Liberian people say you knock your tie and you just make a story and you come on a good platform and just rain accusation of accusation. That is baseless, I would say, and people can go on that page and start insulting. It's up to them. We need to speak truth to power, but why it is true we need to speak truth to power, we need to gather our facts. They should be asking who contributed to the tragedy that we have faced in Liberia. They should be asking when Ebola crisis took place, all the money that is sent to Liberia, did the left government, did they even rehabilitate the boys that were buried and burning bodies? They left them in the street. But she got the Nobel Peace Prize Award. And you got really flooded with people who are under drugs. What did she do to curb the use of drugs in Liberia? When we want to talk about all these things, making comparison, I think we should come up and say, okay, during every regime, they arrested so and so number of drugs, and they did this, and they built this, and they built it. And George Weah came, what Ellie put in place, he kicked it aside, and he's doing stuff. But you cannot just come here and say rape. Did they give example of how many cases Ellen tried, and how many cases George Weah failed to try? No.
Mr. Stropo?
Yes.
Can you at least not acknowledge that there has been a lot of rape cases that have been reported, and can you use the opportunity as a woman to condemn reports of rape cases?
Here is what I'm going to do. I don't have to come on a platform to condemn. Every time there were rape cases, even the case that there were one case and they said the lady was a witchcraft, they abused the lady inside, I spoke against it. But when people come on your platform, instead of speaking facts, and they just make up story, this is not the time now that I need to acknowledge. I have acknowledged that it is against, even her husband is not right to rape his wife. I will no way in order I work as a social worker in the first place. I speak for children, I stand for the right of women. But do not come here and use this platform because you want to demonize this government and come and say the number of rape cases. A rape cases were not reported any justice or time, and people want, because we have Facebook now that is so much, and you get, I don't want to use the words late, hate, but I'm going to say failed politicians who fail, former instructors who had the opportunity. And one thing people fail to realize, if you are instructor, you impart knowledge into your student, and your student go out to become greater people. It doesn't mean that you have to be president. It doesn't mean that you get H. Boyman family, they're writing whole lot of stuff. No. People who are president, people who are business people, their teachers are still in the classroom. They fought a good faith. We appreciate everything they did for our power, Boja, Linsu, they did it. But now the politics, the dynamic has changed, and they need to realize it. This is the opportunity that the failed politician and the progressive and all the opposition have to support this government to take Liberia to the next level. They didn't do it during Dole regime, and the master and the creator of Master Charles Taylor, he came and he destroyed Liberia. They came back, they brought Eddie Johnson. Sawyer had the opportunity. He did not do nothing good different with all their theories, their rhetorics. They didn't do anything. Ellen King. Now, George, we are here for them to support the son of the soil. They are going again, using Facebook, using all their money or whatever they have, using the archaic theory that will not hold. Utopian theories, they will not hold. Those are all rhetorics that they not hold in the past, they cannot hold. So yes, I condemn rape. I'm not for rape. And every rape case that have been reported in the Republic of Liberia, the Ministry of Gender is investigating, and you know it doesn't take one day to investigate a case. It takes time, and once they bring their ruling, those people will be brought to justice and they will serve the time. But no, you cannot compare 12-year or early government rape cases to 2 years.
Thank you, Mr. Chopo. But before I take leave of you, I want to know, you are talking about failed politicians.
Yes.
Who are the failed politicians? Just in a few seconds, who are the failed politicians you're talking about?
Okay, failed politicians, I will name them and the followers can go. Benena Ure, H. Boyman family, You got the Topa Nanti protest. You got all these different parties. They fail. I gave them the flowers. They laid the foundation. They fought a good fight. They reawaken us. They show us the light. But you know why? They need to readdress, they need to adjust and come to reality. That even though you fight, it's not everybody that will fight will always be the head. And you do not have to be the head before you lead. And I will give you an example. We had a 1979 riot.
You gave me some names, Mr. Jopo. You gave me some names already. I said just in few seconds. So my last question here in few seconds will be somebody listening to you must say, our sister is not being respectful to the old folks who laid the foundation she just talked about. Are you being respectful or not?
Very respectful of them, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of the progressive. Without the progressive, we wouldn't have been here. I can tell you that. I'm a big fan, I respect them. But what I do not like, and I will not condone from them, is that because they are not leaders, so they will not support.
Thank you. Thank you, Mistress Dupo. Again, folks, in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia. My name is Anthony Sie, co-hosting with Mr. Dennis Jai. In the house today, it's all women night. We have the opposition women on Monday, and now we have the pro-government women in the house. And guess what? They are talking big politics, and no other place you can find that, where you see women on the platform talking about our country, telling you where they stand and how they see it. You will not find it on any other platform. Only here, Focus on Liberia. Our name says it all. We are focusing on Liberia. Women are Liberians too. Okay, ladies, let's do this. Let's go to protest, shall we? And so we had June 7. It went well. Government provided security, even though government was acting like, one little chick afraid of, the buffering making some noise. And then the protest came and passed. It was peaceful. The government was afraid that maybe Weah administration was coming to an end. And so when they heard about December 30th, some government people are like, oh my God, we finished. And so they play all the tactics and they killed the momentum. And then the protest came, even though it was rescheduled to January the 6th, the protest is over. But let's look at the reaction. The government people agreed that the people right, even though they didn't like it. They didn't like it, but they said that was their right. And so we can establish that both parties agree that the people right to protest. But let's look at the government handling, the way the government responded to the protesters. And let's also look at the protesters' reaction, their behavior during the protest. Will you say that the government handled the situation right? And will you also say that the protesters behaved themselves right? Let's start with you, Sis Rosalind.
Thank you. Well, let's start with June 7 because, no, the first protest is started with what, the 16 billion, bring back our 16 billion and what have you. So if you say if the government acted well or the government did not act well, I will have a problem with you, because when Darius DeLon and them and the group, at the time there were no CPP, no COP, it was just a group of political parties, opposition political parties gather, and they accused this fresh new government of taking $16 billion and taking it to the president's house, that the container was parked at the president's house. With all the insults that surrounded that, the president provided police to guide the protesters so they were not against protest. After that, the momentum grew, and then they wanted the results of the 16 billion, and then it went as far as 25 million because of infusion of US dollars into the economy, where the dollar was rising so high. So we got into that other debate where the government was forced to prove to the people, to the Liberian people, that this government is not in no fraudulent behavior. This government have no idea about $16 billion being missing. First of all, our president hands were not in the 16 billion. The 16 billions were printed before him. And as he was senator at the time, he did not participate because he didn't think that it was necessary to print $16 billion to put new money to put in the economy when we are going to be having general elections and there might be a new leader. So what the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government did, she knew exactly why she did that, and she went ahead and printed plus 16 billion plus maybe 20 billions in and put it in the economy just to destroy this fresh new government. Get past that. We solved that problem, and then came June 7. The propaganda is going on a daily basis, finding this problem here, mounting up problems on the appointed officials of government from this president.
Sister Roslyn, let me hold you there. You said the previous government, the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, printed the money just to destroy the Weah government?
It was premeditated, if you ask me, yes.
Have you forgotten that there was something called turnover note that was given to the president, and the president had the opportunity to look at all that was that was in the government position, and that government, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government, was turning over to the Weah government. So how can you say that they did that to just damage the government?
One thing you should know: this president had high respect for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He's the type of person that respects elders and women. So if you say he's supposed to investigate Ellen Johnson Sirleaf turning over money or turning over the power to him, and he did not question her behavior, why can't she be honest person when he was honest to her and even helped to serve in her government when he asked him to be a peace ambassador to her government? So she was not being fair to him. She was not being right. She had planned to destroy his political dream.
Sis Roslyn, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, you said, was not fair to Weah. Are you aware that Ellen politically supported President Weah because during the campaign, Ellen was with George Weah. Ellen and Weah were cutting ribbons. It was even Ellen that gave Weah some idea about paying Weah school fee. The Weah school fee started way back during the campaign time, and it's helped to give Weah the protocol bread. So how can you say she was doing all that just to destroy him?
It's politics, my brother. It's politics, and Ellen is she's been in this thing for we were not even born. She was doing her thing. So it's all politics. Anything is possible. You can appear to be the angel when you are not an angel. So physical appearance, physical action doesn't mean that you are not planning plots against somebody that you don't want them to succeed. Do you think she wanted George Weah to surpass her leadership? No, I would say no, because she's a seasoned politician. And I don't think she was doing it because she loved George Weah. That's why she was doing those things.
And you think all politicians do that?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying specifically on Ellen Johnson.
I'm asking you, do you think all politicians do that?
Why should all politicians do that? No, that's what I'm saying. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is special. She's a special person.
All right, thank you. Let's go to
Can I continue with my
all right, go ahead.
Because she cut me off. So let's talk about June 7. You asked about June 7 being peaceful by the protesters, and that why is the government so afraid of protests? The reason the government is afraid of protests is because we have had experience, and the experience of protesting led us to 14 years of civil war. And the same very Ellen Johnson we're talking about today was part of that. So the protesters, they had no choice. We also play a very important role in there when it started to plan this June 7th protest to go against the government. We all helped to make it peaceful, because some of
Sis
us.
Rosalind, are you saying that the 1979 protest brought the war?
Well, it started from somewhere. The war, 1990 war, 1989 war started from somewhere. It started with rest riots, and then it went to coup d'etat. And then from there, it continued on. We had a military regime, and it went on and on. And yes, I would say that's where it started. 1979 started all the protest drama, and people got killed, people got hurt. So yes, I would say that because of some politicians like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
All right, thank you. Let's come to you, says Veronica. We stay on the protest. I want you to address specifically the way the protesters conducted themselves. Do you think the protesters carry themselves in a very peaceful manner during the protest? Let's talk about only the recent one, the January 6th protest. And please sit up so we can see you. You lay back, gotta sit up.
All right, obviously,
obviously,
the government did excellent. The government did effort. The government did whatever a good government can do. Number one, the protest, the COP requested for the day to protest. And the day they gave them the protest was on the Saturday, because the government took into consideration that our students needed to be in school on Monday. The government took into consideration that civil servants needed to be at work on Monday. The foreign diplomats in Liberia talked to COP. Now go right ahead with the schedule that the government had given you. The United Nations, other group, talked to COP and said, go ahead with the schedule the government had given you, which is Saturday. But COP, or Henry Kosa to be specific, thought that he was a hero, or he was the only man whose voice could be heard in Liberia. Even
untouchable.
He was untouchable. Or he felt that even the interreligious council called Henry Kosa. The Christian community called Henry Kosa. And you remember, because I refused and disobedient to these people, the Muslim people said, okay, say you guys can do it Sunday, y'all can do it Friday, because Friday we'll go to the mosque. I had a 7 days advantage. People say, okay, say y'all can do it Friday, we can do it Saturday, we'll go to church. That should have rung bell in the ear that indeed Liberians are tired with protests. But yet then still, he was there respectful. And he said, who is Weah? Who is this person? Who is that person? And he organized his protest. Disappointingly, with other people who are referred to as parliament, lawmaker, decision maker. Not for any country, but Maserado. Maserado country that is considered to be the mother country in Liberia. John Henry Kosa. After he did disregard the government decision, and he did respected the Interreligious Council, they respected the Christian community, even the elders, he put them in the street. The government did not have any problem with it. Yeah.
I want us to make it a little interactive. Do you know when COSTAD first announced the protest? What is in 3 months' time, 2 months' time? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't follow it, and I'm not going to lie to you about that. This is a public social media. But I know the first day that COSA said he was coming to lock down Monrovia was December 30th.
Okay, the question I'm trying to ask you is that COSTA announced the protest 3 months ahead of time. So the government was aware, the international community was aware, The Interreligious Council, they were aware, and every day he was announcing it. 3 months period, like every day, protest.
Okay. They could be aware. They could be aware. I agree with you. That did not mean that it was a final decision, because of course I was announcing it months or years ahead of time.
Thank you.
Where somebody rights become, I'm coming. Where somebody right becomes, somebody rights start. If your right start Monday, my right begin Monday 7 o'clock. Your right start Monday 6:59. So because of course, in America, he had a vacation time for school. He needed to go disrupt our children education, disrupt our Liberian people activities. And he now maybe even 10 years ago that a protest was going to be so and so and so. Do we not have a certain government in Liberia? If you need a security from the government of Liberia, and the government of Liberia said, this is the time we can provide security, and you challenge them that whether it rain or not, I'm going to get in the street.
Another question, Veronica. Is that the government that should be deciding when people should protest, or the people that want to protest should decide when they should protest?
The people that want to protest can decide when they want to protest, and the government can prove it, because they depend on the government to provide security. So if you decide to carry on your protest on Monday, and the government says right now we don't have the logistics to provide you the security, and you go in the street, then you're doing it at your own rights. So that what happened with the January 6th protest. They asked the government, and in fact, my brother, if at all you even make a decision in your house, and your mom or your dad or even somebody in the community, we are African, say my son, their decision made already, but calm down, we'll look into it. They did what you see later, we'll look into it. And he said, oh no, I don't care. And I said, oh, I made my decision years ago. And then you're gonna say you are an advocate? And you're gonna say, yes, I'm an advocate. The people you say you coming, if indeed you really coming to advocate for the people, you coming to protest, you're talking for the people. The same people you're talking for, you're going to disrupt their day. The same people you're talking for, okay, you can have it anytime, but go to the ATS, go to SKD. You say no, you're going to call your foot to the executive marshal.
Final question to you.
No, I have not completed.
Go ahead.
Give me chance. You said that whether the government is right, the protesters they wrong or right. So I'm coming there. So when the government told them no, we didn't have the logistics, they insisted they were going to do it. And they did not just stop there. They said, we'll cook our food right here in the street. According to you, because I planned this, or COP, planned this years, months ago. We had caterers in Liberia, my dear. We had a lot of caterers in Liberia. If they were ready doing it with good motives, if they were ready doing it with good motives, they were ready doing it for advocacy purpose, not to threaten other people to put money in their pocket. They were going to go and get caterer. Okay, at 12 o'clock, the grid at Insinko will be fair at this time. At 11 o'clock, the grid at Inter will be fair at this time. But Kopsa was joking his finger in Josh upon Weah Abo. But I'm glad I was on our knees praying for him day and night, that he did not distract from his focus to follow him. Because the one that done fears no fuck. The protester, when they were walking in the street, I watched it. They went and told them, you remove the cop out from the street. You remove it. The police did not just go and start wasting their water on them. They signed a warning. And the human rights monitor came. And he said, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And the police left from there. They were still there for over 30 minutes to an hour. Was that not a disrespect to a certain government? Let's be honest. Because they are protesters, because they're the only people got right. Moravia is not Liberia, for God's sake. You're not going to get a few handful of people like you put $10 in a pocket to can't disrupt the entire country. So what do you expect the government to do? You see, when the police were passing, the citizens were clapping for the police. And the citizens were saying, no more protest, no more protest. That showed that it was just a handful of people were doing that because of their own selfish gain. They were not doing it for the interest of the Liberian people, because they were doing it for the interest of the Liberian people. Number one, Monday, our children are going to school after the vacation. Number two, our civil servants going to work after the vacation. Number three, our elders have called us. If all you advocating, you got your seniors, you got the pastors, you got our imam. They call you, go to them. They say, what the older man standing there can see, the young baby standing up cannot even see it. Go to them. I don't think John open where I will refuse and say, okay, even though we are trying to protest, but I can't refuse your call. But the thing I'm saying is SYZ. But the protesters, they didn't even have plan. They were not even organized. No united, no coherent. They just go ahead. Oh, what you ask them, what you protesting for? Joy, I must step down. No, Joy, I must step up. No, the economy must do this. Oh, no, they will do the one. So they didn't even know why they were doing the jack in the street, because some of them been asking the government to put money in their pocket, and they got a wrong president at this time. He said, go ahead, you want to discuss my impeachment, go ahead and discuss it.
And who are some of those that have been asking the government for money to go in their pocket?
Of course, and Hera Costa, you think I'm going to hire any? If I go Liberia, nobody's going to do anything to me. If they do anything to me, sir, there will still be 1,000 for Renika available. Of course, Hera Costa. What are you talking about? He is. All that noise you were causing.
Are you getting afraid?
Afraid of what?
No, you just said that when I go Liberia, want to do something to me.
Yeah, of course. That's a country that it may be sometimes when you speak your rights, like those are other advocating for or talking on behalf of the government now. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, other people will not speak to us. That's what I'm saying, but trust me, my dear, I am not afraid because I got the hand of Jesus.
Has that happened before?
I got the hands of Jesus upon my life. So I am.
Has that happened before?
So the protest, don't deviate me. When they told them leave, they said they were not leaving. When the police people would go, then they will run there. The police people go. If you guys witness the police people, spraying the water on them, the first time they did not spray it directly to them. They spray on the side to frighten them to leave. But they were there, oh, you were doing after. But then what they realized was Tata Euro were gone, Henry Costa were gone, ADD or DDA was gone. They were gone. So they didn't even care whether they killed them or the country force that lead them. Whether they killed them or they didn't kill them, whether they live or they don't live, they didn't care. They were gone. They were concerned about life. Then you're going to call them advocate, and then you will call them people like comparing them with Martin Luther King and comparing them with Mandela and Nelson Mandela. Seriously? No. So the government were right. The government were right because they said they were going to be in the street all day. They were sleeping in the street. You cannot lock the city down and start other people, children from going to school. You don't want to go to school. Go wherever you go, you want to go. And Henry Kosa will come here, even though he has spent 5 hours here, getting 1 bachelor's degree, but he will get it anyway. And when he gets ready, he go there, they put money in his pocket, he used to get in the street. So the government was 100% right. The protesters were on the wrong.
Thank you very much. And let's come to you, Mistress Constant Dwopo. Constant Dwopo is the chairperson of CDC-USA Women Wing. Madam Chair Lady,
yes.
Let me add one banana to the question. Protest, and that banana is the protest the students had, the high school students. During that protest, if you can recall, the students were sprayed with tear gas. Videos of the children fighting for their lives were seen all over social media. Many of them were rushed to the hospital. And as a father, when I saw that, I'm like, wow, how could my government, how could our government spray innocent students who are trying to protest on behalf of their teachers, when in fact it is the government that failed to pay the teachers and they thought to do something about it. So that is the banana I wanted to add to the protest question. Go ahead.
Mr. Anthony C., thank you very much. But let me make this clear here, that if you try to bring sentiments in the statement by saying when you saw your children because you are father and children, but could you turn it around to rephrase the question as to say, why will my children who are students, who should be civic enough to engage leadership with discussion, roam the streets? Have they not learned how to discuss issues? Have they forgotten that they can use their pen and paper to write and request the government to have a talk? Why are they protesting in the first place if your teachers didn't get paid their salaries? The first reaction, your first action will be protest. or you will try to engage. You will try to strike conversation so people will know that you are learning, you are well learned. How will we not deviate from the past? Things that have caused us so much pain, devastated our nation. How will we continue in that same path? Will be my question to the children. Why would they not use that movement as a teaching movement to the elders? To say, even though you are the government, you are the leadership, but we are going to school, we have knowledge, we are being impacted with knowledge. So we're going to approach you in a different way. We're going to be strategic. Why wouldn't they? Why would they run the streets? Why would they allow themselves to be used again by these heartless politicians? So what the government did, the police did not harm them. Disperse the crowd. Even in America, we see protests here. It get out of hand, out of control. The police will have to stand their ground in order for a lot of things not to happen. So the government did the right thing. I am sorry it went that far, but the government did the right thing. People, these failed politicians, these so-called heartless, ruthless, baseless politicians who has nothing to offer the Liberian people should not use our children to incite violence. And this is why this government has a challenge. And so far they have delivered, they have lived up to it. There has not been any political prisoner at this present moment as we speak. No, people are free to speak. They insult the president, which of course they shouldn't be doing, but they take advantage of freedom of speech and they try to insult the president. So there is rule of law. We have a government that is there to protect all citizens. If you are a student or group of students organization that allow yourself to be bought by these failed politicians who could not win the election, but trying to undermine the government, they failed doing those regime to support those, by now Liberia would have been far away. They resorted to violence, the utopian ideology. Back in the days, they tried to use it in the modern time, it will not hold waters. So
Mr.
Yep.
Any sympathy for the students?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. No one, I mean, if you say sympathy for the student, we teach our children to be civic. When you go to school, the first thing you are taught to be civic, to listen, to follow instruction, to think critically, but you cannot. We've been through that. We've been down that path. It was students that the politician used. It was students, it was children that killed their mothers. It was children that raped other people. So we cannot use the word just to create, to gain sympathy from the public and say sympathy for students and for children. It was children that created the most hideous crime in Liberia during the Civil War. So yes, we have sympathy for them. They were giving instruction, do not, and they thought they could be violent towards the police. The police did what they could have done.
Mr. Depo, do you hate protests?
No, I do not. Why should I? I do not. It's encouraging our society as part of the democracy. If that will yield any result, people can continue to protest. No, I'm not against protests.
Thank you. Again, folks, in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia. My name is Anthony Sia, co-hosting with Mr. Dennis Jad today. And it's Ladies' Night again. We had the opposition women on Monday, and today we have pro-government women here in the house. And as you can see, they are throwing political punches. These women are not leaving anything untouched, and we got some questions for them. Don't go away. Ladies, let's come to another segment of our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, any government that comes to power, they make promises. and they have policies. And let me give you apple and oranges for you to talk about. Number one, evaluating the government projects. We heard about this coastal highway. I was so happy when I heard that. I'm from the Southeast. I'm from a county they refer to as the least, Grand Crew. It's difficult to get there to see my grandfather's grave. And so when I heard about the coastal highway, I was like, wow, maybe I should start nursing. But then there was something called Ibomav, and there was another thing called Eton. And our understanding was that those two deals were going to give us 1 billion United States dollars.
Yes.
The legislator in 4GSP ratified it. So I felt the money was going into our account. And then we got to know, hey boy, you miss it. The coastal highway, where is this coastal highway? You need to answer that question for me. I gave you another one. On RIA, even my friends in the government told me, my man, we got the light poles. RIA will soon be electrified.
Yeah.
And I talked to somebody 2 days ago, he says, yeah, because the place is dark, it's dark, Ada Lawrence is a dead man. And then we heard about the Propo rice. Where is that rice? Our people were so hopeful. They said, money has come. We can afford a bag of rice for $10. No more Propo rice. What's going on? Let's start with you, says Rosalind.
Okay, thank you. Before I go any further, can I protest for 1 second?
Oh, you will make us still on here.
Can you let me finish my thoughts when you ask a question? I'm noticing you're not giving me my full time to complete my answers to your questions.
I apologize.
Having said that,
if I did
that's
that.
my protest.
It's not intentional.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead.
So we talk about we're still talking about protests, right?
No, we moved to something else, but you still want to talk protest. So go ahead.
It's still part of it.
And go ahead.
It's still part of it.
Go ahead.
Okay, the reason why I say it's still part of it, when we have investors that plan, they want to come and help our economy, that want to help to rebuild our country, and our government officials are working towards that. We have the opposition bloc try very hard to their utmost best and want to make sure it does not succeed. That's the protest I'm talking about. So you're talking about the Aton and the what the other one again?
Ibomav.
Ibomav. You had two twin brothers in the United States got behind that loan that should have been given to the Liberian government. They took upon themselves and went to Asia to go search for the company that want to get himself involved into that loan so we can be able to benefit from it. Yep, they politicized it, the opposition, there was every day, it was talking and tearing apart. I mean, even if it was me, I promise you something, and then I hear all the negativity around it. Do you think I'm gonna take my money and put it into that? It's a no. I will not do that. So that was the case with those two loans. And you talking about building the Southeast, the roads. Since in your existence as a Liberian, has there been any president that ever mentioned building the interstate highway in Liberia to even reach as far as the border to Ivory Coast or to Ghana? Because Ghana is not border to us. To go as far as Ghana, I don't think so. So when you have a government as such, their sole focus is to rebuild, because Liberia was destroyed. The little we had, was destroyed. In the 14 years of civil war was destroyed. So this is the rebuilding process we're on. And we had 12 years of government that the whole world, I should say, poured money on this government, the first of its kind, that every country around strong economic countries and the IMF, they pump money, pump money, pump money. Only to come end up with, after 12 years, we still don't even have an airport, or we still don't even have a proper terminal. We still don't even have a highway to go to Lofa County, to go to Grand Jita, to go to Sino, you name it. All 15 counties. I think the only county that benefit from the roads during this summer to October time was Cape Mount. Cape Mount has a paved road from Monrovia Street. You reach to Robertsport. Other than that, which one? Bone County? Bone County is in the middle. And all of the other surrounding, all the road spread to go to Lofa County, to go to Nima County, zero. We never had. So you want to show disappointment about all the companies that want to give us loan or want to loan us money to build the highway? You people obstructed it. Maybe not you, but the opposition destroy that. And every time there's some investor that want to come and bring something into our country so we can benefit from it, the protest plans will start to disrupt the investors from coming in our country. And that is so wrong. If we hadn't have a focused president that don't pay attention to petty things, cheap talks, cheap hate, they insult his mother, his grandmother, his wife, his whole family, you name it. Would you like it if somebody did that to you on a daily basis? No, you wouldn't.
Rosalind, to attract investors, there are things
you're cutting me off again, though. I can't land. You're always cutting me
Yeah,
off.
no, I know where you're going with it. So let me come in. We're trying to wind down now. To attract investors, or protests do not discourage investors. There are things that you need to do to attract investors in your country or to boom the economy.
Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Protest doesn't attract investors.
Opposition has never been in the way for. If that was the case, I know America will not be developed because there's opposition here every day. So what are the things that the government is doing to attract the investors, to boom the economy, instead of blaming it on two twin brothers or protests or opposition?
I was giving instances. I was not blaming it. I was giving instances of things that happen from the opposition bloc.
That shouldn't stop it. That's what I'm getting at.
But who want to put money somewhere to develop, and people are always tearing it apart? Who wants to do that? No one. No good businessman will want to do that, want to invest into a country where every day, every time you turn, there's some chaos building up. Who wants to do that? Stores are closed when they protest, especially during the weekdays. Stores are closed. Schools are closed. Everything that generates a fund to build up the economy is shut down.
Okay.
It is shut down. If we were not standing tall to talk against, no one said don't protest. But now I think they are trying to build up a system where people can go a particular place so they don't interfere into other people's freedom of movement.
Understood.
Nobody stop you from your protest, but find a particular day where people will go to a particular spot. Even in a great Europe, people protest, don't go in the streets. People protest, but they don't go in the streets and blocking other people's ways. They got a detour. They will give a detour. Take this route so we can have traffic flowing. People gotta go to work. People gotta go to school. People got businesses they gotta open. Then they got a particular spot. Most times they do it on the weekends. They don't do it on a weekday. So if that system should succeed in our country, it would be a great thing. So everybody can go and
thank you, Randy. I know we have said a lot. Can you hear me? Is there anything that the president or the government struggle with that will need improvement? What are some of the areas the government need to do more work? What are the challenges of this? What are the things that the government is that giving the government hard time that they need to work on? And I will want to go around the room for each of you to comment on that. Let me start with Veronica.
Oh, you're asking me or you're?
I'm asking all of you, but I'm starting with Veronica. Are there any areas where the government is struggling that needs improvement? What are some of the things that are giving the government hard time that it need to improve on? What the weakness of this government? Let's start with Veronica.
Before we talk about the weakness of the government, let me first of all say that one thing the government is struggling with is the opposition political party. One thing the government is struggling with is those that just don't make good for Liberia. One thing the government is struggling with are our brothers and sisters that just post stuff on social media. Before you say stuff, you should have the source of your information, have the backing. For example, like Roslyn was saying, if investors want to come in Liberia, and every day is protest, an investor want to come Liberia, every day somebody say, President Weah had the container of money sitting in his backyard. An investor want to come in Liberia. Every day, oh, President Weah took the 16 billion to Jamaica. It made the investors to go back. And we know that President Weah alone cannot perform a miracle for money to drop from heaven to the ground. The investors are the one who come to help provide jobs. The investors are the one who come to help the government. Everybody cannot work in the government. But if our oppositions are there trying to darken everything the government does, we are not going to go anywhere because why? The investors will not come in for them to provide jobs, for them to aid the government. We are in a country that we don't really pay tax to help the government do stuff. We are in a country that we just maybe depend on donors, we depend on one or two stuff as our source of income. Now, sometimes when I hear people say, open eating money, open doing the shock me. Have you paid your property tax? So if our oppositions, everybody cannot go to the executive marshal at the same time. If our opposition can just organize themselves, I'm not saying don't criticize the government, but what I'm trying to say, don't get information that will scare investors to come in the country. Therefore, I feel that what our government is struggling with right now.
Veronica, you said it is only the opposition the government is struggling with. But when you ask Samuel Twe, he will tell you our problem is the economy. You ask President Weah will tell you our problem is the economy. You ask all the government people, they will tell you our problem, our number one problem is the economy. But you are saying that it's the opposition. Are they lying and you are telling the truth?
I never said the word une. I did not say the word une. I did not say the only problem that the government has is opposition. No, I never used the word une. You're talking about economics. I mean, we're talking about the economy in the country. That brought down investor coming to the country too. So I never said the word une. I said one of the problems that the government is faced with is the opposition. So it's not the only problem the government is faced with. And then I went ahead by saying that statement that I made on social media or accusation that does not have any source, accusation that does not have any proof will fear investor coming to the country. If you have more investors in your country, it will help to boom your economy. If you have investors, like business with other people, it will help to boom your economy. So the word only, I did not say it's the only, I didn't say opposition was the only problem. I said opposition is a problem for the government also.
Okay. Let's go to Constant about where the government is struggling, where the government would need help. What do you think is the only way? Is there one thing that the government is having problem with? Or are you saying everything is good?
No, I cannot tell you that everything is good, but I can also tell you that this government has done a lot in a short period of time. We do have challenges as a government, like any other government would. Even the United States, they have the issue. I think one of the major problems that we have now in Liberia is to stabilize our economy. And with the new appointed central bank governor, I think we're going to make progress. Secondly, I think we need to see how we can control some, if I need control, not in a negative way, but our information dissemination tactic. I think we need to improve that and come up with new strategies, which of course, I think in a matter of a month or so, we're going to see a big change. Change is going to take place. I also think one of the things we need to do, we shouldn't focus on this man called Costa. We need to pick out the people that are supporting Costa. And if you ask me, I know even in the United States, when you're trying to bring down some big illegal things that are going on, those kind of group, they don't focus on the people that they're using. They try to just use them, but try to dig deeper and get behind the issue, the people that are supporting him. And I would not give him credence any day because he a coward. You only go protest when you're not in school. If you really care for the people in Liberia, you should be there. Doing the moja, the part-time, Paco Mafia, every one of them were there. You don't come to school, so you want to tell me things are okay when he come back to school, and when he is about to go on vacation, then he start planning to organize protests. No, you do not do that. You do not liberate the people. And the people that are comparing this man, this boy, with Nelson Mandela, with Nelson Martin Luther King, I think they do not know what they are saying. They don't read, I'm sorry to say, or their comparison is just too minute. You do not compare those major, those great men and men that change the world to such a person that is just there, that is doomed, that is trying to create, that is all about himself. So the government need a strategy to deal with the social media issue, to see how information is disseminated out there. I think that one of the major challenges that we have, because of Facebook and more Liberians are not patriotic. If they are not the head, nope, nothing will go straight. But here is what I want to say to our Liberian people, that this government, George Weah, Dr. Weah, President Weah government, will stay for the next 12 years, even if the constitution, we will not amend the constitution, but if we have third term, fourth term, like the President Dr. George Manuel Weah will be re-elected. But we do not, but for the 12 years, those people that are using Henry Costa or whatever he call himself, they just wasting their time, because this government will deliver to the Liberian people so much that come 2023, you will see people flying from all over the world going to Liberia to support the president, and he will win the election overwhelmingly, that the opposition will have no space.
Mr. Tropo.
Yes.
Earlier you were speaking, you said that the government information dissemination is poor. I'm just paraphrasing your words.
I did not say poor. I chose my words carefully. I did not say poor. I said that one of the challenges, you asked me, the areas. So if you have a challenge, it doesn't mean you fail either. I said one of the areas. I'm trying to be real. I'm a very patriotic person, Liberia first, and my party. So I'm speaking my point of view. From my point of view, I think we need to control the narrative as a government.
Mr. Estropo, I'll come back again. I wanted to ask my question, and I was saying, I'm trying to paraphrase you. Thank you for correcting me.
Okay.
Since the information dissemination aspect of the government is challenging to the government, Are you trying to say that Eugene Namwe and Minister Fagon are doing a very poor job?
No, no.
Then
If
what
you
challenges
have
you having?
let me explain to that. If you have a challenge, it doesn't mean you are doing a poor job. The minister is doing his work within his domain, what he's supposed to do, but we have all these negativity that are coming out there, the newspaper. When I'm talking about trying to control the narrative, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what is coming from the minister or what is coming from you. We all have different platforms, and the louder people speak in Liberia, the more negativity that is out there, that what people gravitate towards, because people don't have a lot to do and they are used to that. Like, you always have to oppose in order for you to be known, and that's not true.
Mr. Dopo,
yes,
at some point, because of Fagon, this is me saying it, because of his poor performance, he was suspended because as an information minister, he used rhetorics that were divisive, and so he was suspended. And you think he's still doing a good job?
Oh, you're talking about it was just an incident. And we all are Liberians. I'm not here to say Fagon was right, but we know the history about Liberia. I don't want us to know the history. I do not want us to know the history. And the reason why you and I are speaking today, because people are against the government, is because of the history of Liberia. The few people who think within their mind, their little mind, that they own Liberia and that's their God's given right to always lead Liberian people, we know they are all behind this thing.
Yes.
You have in Liberia, you have the Lone Star that is owned by our opposition, Benin Ure. You talk about leaks, you talk about how do you opposition own or telecommunication and all the major telephone company? Don't you think they will be doing that in legal stuff? So when I'm talking about controlling the narrative, these are things I'm talking about. Eugene Fagon is doing a good job. Eugene Fagon is doing a good job, but we know the history, and Liberian, we shouldn't forget about our history. And this is why I'm calling on the political class, the so-called political class, that this is their opportunity to support the government if they want to succeed, if they want to continue in politics. But if they think because they are not in front, they're going to suppress President Weah, they will never have the opportunity, because they had a chance during Doe regime and they did not try. 2005, Bako Matthew told them, this is our only opportunity. We need to support President Weah. They all said he was not educated, and one of them could not win a seat, even in the House. In 2017, he was
Thank you, Mrs. Dopo. Thank you. We are about to wind down. I will ask that you keep your answers a little shorter.
Okay.
We don't want to keep you here for more than 2 hours. That would be too much. So let's keep the answers a little shorter. So that, they say short and sweet, right? So that the next time you come by, you say, oh, that's just 2 hours, less than 2 hours, I can go. Folks in cyberspace, again, this is Focus on Liberia. My name is Anthony Sie. I am co-hosting today with Mr. Dennis Jai. It's all ladies night, pro-government women in the house, talking big politics. You can see they are throwing punches. And I'm here, I will push them. This is what I do. Ladies.
Can I come in just shortly, Mr. Sie?
All right, go ahead.
And I mean, the period honor review, one of our greatest challenge, one of the greatest challenges that we have is the inflation rate in our country. We know the economy is not doing well because of the rate, the dollar versus the LD. I will admit to that, but as I said earlier, with the appointment of our new central bank governor, I think we're going to make progress. The president is doing his best. So I think once we can get that inflation rate under control, Liberia will be rising again.
Thank you. Rosalind, you had an opportunity to answer the question too, right? Yes, I think you did.
No, yeah. I haven't. You said it was going to go around the room.
All right, go ahead.
And they haven't reached me. Can you rephrase the question, or can you ask the question again?
What, if anything, 2, 3, or 4 that you know that is giving this government hard time?
Well, in my
Is the
opinion,
Go ahead.
okay. Well, for me, like Ms. Dwopel rightly said, there are challenges in any government, but all the same in this government, for me, the challenges that this government is facing will be the too much attention is being given to a particular person that makes no sense whatsoever, that brings nothing to the discourse when it comes to the developmental agenda of our government. And and if it is so, this individual should be handled. This individual should be handled because
How?
we have laws on the books.
How?
By that I mean, if you have a particular person or a certain group of people, I would like to call them gangsters. I know you wouldn't want me to use such a word, but I would like to call them gangsters. And the reason why I call them gangsters because they are bringing nothing tangible. Be a lawmaker, be a bias standard, and you have nothing tangible to bring to the table, but all you do is destruction, confusion, and no one within the law enforcement cannot do their due diligence. So these kind of people that try to bring the country down on her knees. So these are the challenges for me. I see it disturbs me a lot. Every day we wake up, people break the laws they are not taken care of. You know, you in America, when you break the law.
And Rosalind, I was just about to ask, and if you think if this person who you name as one of the challenges is handled in your own words, the way you think he should be handled, then all will be well for the government?
When you growing up, when you misbehave, your parents will discipline you. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
And Costa is the child here?
Yes.
He would say he's a man. He's not a child, he's a politician, in my opinion, and he's playing the game that CDC play.
He's not a politician.
He is. Who is a politician? He's a politician.
You are saying it in a different form. What I'm saying, I am giving you a typical African upbringing. It's in the Bible. Spoil the child or spare the rod, you spoil the child. We cannot continue to live like this as a nation. One particular person had engulfed the whole population of Liberia, as you say, in the diaspora within Liberia. Every day you wake up, one particular person is just tearing us all apart.
Rosalind?
We have opposition. It's their right to be opposition, but opposition should also be, should also have some criticism that will be able to be put to proper use to move our country forward. But all the complaints they have is just to tear apart because they are not in the chair.
So you say
that is where I have a problem. Justice must be done to all men.
So if the child misbehave, you correct them. In the case,
yes.
If the government misbehaves, who disciplines the government?
The government we have 3 branches of government. That's why we have lawmakers.
Thank you. Again, folks in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia. My name is Anson Nsia. We have Dennis Jal back. He's going through some difficulty. I'm going to fire him for doing that. But let's go to our final segment. And this one seems to be juicy, ladies. So fasten your seatbelt. And that will be the last one. Just keep it short so that we can get you out of here on time. We don't want your husbands coming after us.
Whatever,
Ladies,
man.
we are talking about unity. What a brilliant word. I imagine me being in my house with my family and there's unity, there's love, and life is fulfilling. So let's talk unity. Talking about the CDC, I heard a guy called Akaros Moses Gray. He said, it seems to be opportunists have taken over our government. And when we, the true soldier, respond, it will be nasty. And I heard another gentleman by the name Mamba Molu. He was caught on tape, on an audio. He was talking all kinds of things, that the president would make a personal trip, and then he would bring the money and take the money home. That the president has destroyed the revolution, that it would take a miracle to turn this thing around. Mamba Molu, your party chairman. It seems to be there's no love, there's no unity. So let's talk unity. Is CDC a united political party? Let's start with you, Veronica.
Yes, I would say CDC is a united political organization, a political party. We don't see division among them.
Really?
This is a political party that has been established years, and it still goes strong. When it's time for election, they still have the offices running, the headquarters is there. Not the other political party, right after election, the offices are closed. Around election, they got a little building, they call it office, and they are working together as a thing. Again, not because somebody says something behind the back door, make it to be like they are not together. Not because somebody says something in the dressing room, make it to be like they are not united. Again, saying something does not in any way make it to be like, okay, we are about CDC as a whole. Since I've been knowing myself, the first political party I ever knew was NPP, like the one we used to, we were coming out, they say, after NPP, CDC is the next political party that is really united, because I know about CDC more when it comes to that than NPP. For NPP, we just used to hear the music, give them whole NPP, all the stuff. But CDC, they have never, gone down. Even though they didn't win election, they are never split, they are never done anything, they are always together. Again, somebody saying something like if Veronica is 5'2" or Veronica is 5'8", does not anyway make it to be like we are not united as a thing.
So it's all liquor talk.
I call that a dressing room talk. When you're dressing, when the footballer are going to go dress, you can say other things. My man, what size of shoe you got? What your jersey number? Those are behind the same talk. So as a leader or as a political party, you don't really emphasize on behind the same talk. You focus on things that will uplift the country.
Thank you. And let's come to you, Mistress Dopo. You heard the question, unity. The horse is like divided with all the things that are coming up, talking about ice cream and all that. Tell me, is the party united?
Oh, CDC is the most united party in the Republic of Liberia, the most organized party, committed partisan. You see, CDC is almost like a religion. People believe in CDC. We believe in CDC. I see people always have this talk that we are, there will be no CDC. Let's watch and see. We breathe, we talk, we live CDC. And conflict is inevitable. In any relationship, everywhere there will have to be conflict. So when people are talking, people disagree on certain things, it doesn't mean they are not united, but you express it and you're discussing. And that is why CDC will remain the strongest political party in the Republic of Liberia, because we believe in our institution. No matter what, we can say this. When it comes to CDC, we ready, we are in our blue and we are ready to march. So CDC, we are united. As the lady said, Veronica said, I just buff talk. That's just talk. And as I said, if you got your opposition who own or telecommunication company, they are just doing a lot of things. We know what can happen with technology nowadays. So I don't give credence to that. I don't think about that. We think about the goal. We have our goals and we live and we said we're going to accomplish these goals. This political institution is a revolutionary political institution, and there will be none other political party like CDC.
Mr. Dopo,
Yeah.
you know, these voices coming out of the party that signify some division, you guys are terming it as locker room talk, dressing room talk. People in the opposition may say that, hey, all the things Costa talking to, you know, the bathroom talk. What do you think?
Here is the difference. If you know, I don't want to always give. I do not watch Costa's show. I do not follow Costa because he is irrelevant to anything that have to do with the solution of the Liberian people. He is not an alternative to the problems that we have now. So I don't give him credence. What I'm saying is that people have their differences and interpret things differently. CDC is a political institution. We believe in our institution. We believe in our norms. We believe in our creed. You can take it to the bank. CDC will remain the most popular political party in the Republic of Liberia going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Dupo. Mr. Dupo, right there, responding in a very strong way. Like I'm to you.
Mr. Soni, let me ask Mrs. Dupo a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Yah.
You've mentioned that Costa is irrelevant. I mean,
in my opinion.
Yeah, let me learn. This is the man who, when he sneezes, the whole of Monrovia is on fire. And now
not anymore.
Not anymore. He called 1,000. I'm not interrupting. He called 1,000 presidents.
Now you are saying he's irrelevant and you are not giving any credit. Isn't that?
I can address that, sisters. Yeah, we let him land.
Isn't that some form of intolerance if you dismiss this guy?
No.
The second thing you said was the need to control the media because things are not going the way the government will expect. And you have given example twice now on the telecommunication, talking about Benina Ure controlling, you know, Lone Star and all those things. Are you kind of suggesting some strong hands to be able to control the media so that things will go the way the CDC wants?
Oh, my brother, politics is not for children. I believe that strongly. And these people are politicking in Liberia and they are trying to do stuff and take up 10 years or 25 years backward. I'm not in the leadership, but I can tell you the president is doing everything he can, but we need more strategies that we need to put in place to be able to control the narrative. I stand by that. That's my point of view. That's my opinion. Because if you are a leader, you need to be in charge and control of everything that is getting out there.
You mean gag order and
no, not gag order. I don't have to do gag order. It has nothing to do with gag order. We just need some policies. We just need to be strategic. We just need to do what we got to do as a government to protect the lives and property of our people. The people that elected us, they look up to us, and we got to deliver. In order to do that, we got to be very strategic. Politics is politics.
Concerning the media, because I'm getting afraid now that what you want to do to focus on Liberia.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so you need to do certain things. So like what? Give me some examples of how you can control the media.
And control the narrative.
How?
How you control the narrative?
Yeah.
You do so by training more people. You do so by collecting information. You do so by having radio station, your own radio station that promotes your agenda. You do so by having people around you that are willing to work, that are willing to promote the proper agenda. That's how you do it. You do not bring people who will not promote your agenda. So what I'm saying in short is that we are going to be very strategic going forward. The government going forward, the government going to be very strategic, and the government will control the narrative. That's the government. We have one government in the Republic of Liberia. We have, I don't know, 30 opposition. So the government is in charge to lead the people of Liberia, and the government has to lead.
Rosalind.
Yes, sir.
So go ahead. Can you control the narrative too by weaponizing, in the words of Mr. Samuel 12? Go ahead. You like that juice, eh? I see that you like that.
Well, let me just say this. Samuel Toy, he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. I think he knows his job, and the president, and he's working well along with the president, which I appreciate. So we talk about peace. Is that what the question was initially?
Yeah, you were talking about unity in the CDC. I said that, you know, there's no unity. We are saying this because of the voices that are coming from within, the likes of Mamba Molu, the likes of Akara Gray. Even one of the team of Mamba Molu said, send I brought Samuel 12 on, you say he's doing a good job. Mamba Molu said he's the most hated guy in the government. So go ahead. Is there unity in the CDC?
Oh, there will always be unity in the CDC. CDC is a force to reckon with. There's no political party, like my two sisters just said. Yes, CDC is a force to reckon with. There is no comparison. And I would say this, how can CDC not be a unifying party? Our president was once UNICEF ambassador to bring peace to our nation. Our former president appointed him as peace ambassador under her government because she knew by him on her side, by him being on her side, we'll have peace and tranquility. And that he provided for the 12 years. People go around here saying CDC was protesting, CDC was insulting, but you will want to go back in history when there was not a time that a leader of the CDC, which is Dr. George Weah, one day exchanged words with the president of the Republic of Liberia, and for any leader for that matter. Never, never, never. You can look in all of the books. You will never find such thing. So how can you accuse the leader of CDC that were disrespectful to the past government? So when you talk about unity, it's CDC. And when you want to bring trivial conversation that Chairman Moba Molu said this, said that. You heard what the president said. He said it and he meant it. He thought that this is racketeering, and he meant it. Why? How many of us don't sit in corners and say stuff?
Exactly.
How many of us that don't sit in with another friend or two and say something about somebody? But because he was recorded, it made it sound nasty. It made it sound ugly. And the president knows that they're after him. The president knows very well.
Hold on, Rosalind, let me hold you there. You said it made it look nasty or sound nasty. Don't you think those were nasty?
When no one is listening to you when you say things, nobody cares, right?
Right.
You don't know the grave.
I don't think so.
You don't know the grave. You don't know the graveness.
A wrong is a wrong, no matter where and how it's said. A wrong is a wrong.
Excuse me?
No, I just said a wrong is a wrong, no matter where and how it was said. Go ahead.
The person that said it made it clear. It was a liquor talk. Whether you like it or not, that's what he felt at the time when he said it. I'm not trying to bog wrong. If he did wrong to the president, that's between he and his president. And the president had already given a green light. He's only human. Have you not gossiped about somebody before? even though the person is your buddy. You, Anthony CA, have you not talked about anybody in a derogatory way before when no cameras or video recordings were around to pick your voice up?
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me? You haven't?
And does that make it okay?
Well, no, it doesn't make it fine. Well, I'm
And that's
just
what I'm
trying to
saying.
tell you, these are trivial issues. We have better things to discuss. Our
All right.
focus is to build our country, and the most peaceful organization or party, political party you can find in the Republic of Liberia is the CDC,
Thank you.
because our leader is a peaceful man, and he's
Thank
a
you.
unifying president.
Thank you. Ladies,
You're welcome.
you've been fighting, and we are coming to the end of the broadcast. We enjoy having you here. We have given you the opportunity to respond to the opposition ladies we had here on Monday. And I'm sure you know that Friday, we're bringing the two teams together here for a debate. I repeat, the two teams are coming here on this network. No other network or platform will bring you to a debate, but we do. We are doing it this Friday, same time. The opposition ladies and you, the pro-government ladies, are coming here for a debate. So go by and sharpen your skills. You said President Weah is a peaceful man. I don't want to dispute that, but I heard that peaceful man saying, let's take that little boy on Kerry Street, let me whistle him 3 times. But that is just your apple. Don't respond to it. Let's close, ladies.
Oh, I can if you want to.
Let's close, ladies. We have to go. We don't want to keep you for so long. So let us close the day. You support the government. You agree that all is not well because you said there are challenges. And I think it is reasonable to say so. So what would be your recommendation to your government so that things can go better? Even though my sister Veronica said the government is doing excellent.
Excellent.
She used
And I second the motion.
But even though
Yeah, the
government might be
motion.
doing excellent, but we still need you to give recommendation. So let's start with you, Veronica. You said the government is doing excellent, but I want you to find something because some people are not happy. Go ahead.
1 minute each, please.
All right, thank you. Let me first of all say thank you to Focus on Liberia. I take this as an honor for me to be here today as your guest and talking about the government of the Republic of Liberia, the good country we have called home. And I just want to conclude by saying to my brothers and sisters out there that the only place we have is Liberia, and we are all family. Let us hold Liberia together, let put our individual differences aside to support our president, that our Liberia will be like what it used to be when our parents enjoy it. So my recommendation to the president, to the government of Liberia is that, yes, they are doing excellent, they are doing very well, they are doing good. But I just want to tell them to recommend, and the recommendation is almost like something they are already doing, that the construction of roads, that it won't be just in Monrovia, they can also decentralize the construction of road, because every time we're talking about food. If you go to some part of Nima County, there's red banana, there's plantain, there's edibles, there's rice and things. But how can the people transport those things to come and sell them? The road condition not good. Even in Grand Cru, even in Sano County, those are places that they have food. But if our road condition is not good, how can those things be transported to Monrovia or other part of Liberia to be sold to the other people that cannot afford plenty of those things? So I bravo the president. I gave him thumbs up, especially for the road construction, even though some people say we're not going to eat road, but we don't even know the importance. Some of us don't know the importance of having road in the country. So I prayed and asked them that the road construction be decentralized. It should not be just only in Monrovia. So that would be my strong recommendation to this CDC-led government.
Thank you. And Rosalind, your closing.
Oh, well, first of all, let me take this opportunity to tell you thank you very much for putting this together, and our chair lady, Constance Duopo, for inviting me to this platform. And so the other ladies that couldn't make it, I hope next time you put up on your walking shoes and make it possible to be here. Having said that, um, I want to say the government is doing excellent, excellent, like a second emotion to Veronica, and that, like she rightly said, decentralization is very important to our economy because when we have roads everywhere, trust me, ain't take no time for bitter balls and peppers and onions and garlic and what have you to be on the market. But if we don't have roads, which I know this is one of the major concern of this president, and I'm sure he is going to deliver. If people can just give peace a chance, let the man do his work. If 6 years reaches and he doesn't make your dream to come true, then you can decide. But until then, give him the time to do this job without interruption. Nobody sit down, speak, but be. I mean, let your criticism be tangible. Let your criticism be of importance, not criticized out of envy, jealousy, petty hate, and all of those stuff. It's not going to take us anywhere. So I want to say our government is doing great, and that they should focus on trying to nip it in the butt for would-be lawbreakers. That's my concern. I hate indiscipline. People that are indisciplined cannot get you to no development. So if the government can focus on that, it's going to take us far, far. Nip it in the butt as it come. That's the only thing I have a problem with. And those that were appointed to do the jobs get to work. It's not everything people pointing finger at the president. That's why the president gave you the job to do, and do it to the fullest. And then we will move Mama Liberia forward. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. We will bring in Mistress Constant Duopo for her closing statement and recommendation to the government.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony C. and to your other host, Mr. What is his name again?
Dennis Jai.
Mr. Jai, I want to take this time on behalf of my institution and my fellow supporters, Seditians. I want to say thank you on behalf of the women of CDC, the women of Liberia, for giving us this platform that we can speak out and talk about issues that are confronting our country. But if I were to make any recommendation to the President of the Republic of Liberia, I would like to encourage him that he should not be deterred by what is going on. I would like to say to him, leadership can be very lonely at times, very lonely at times. Leadership can be frightening. Leadership can be hurrying. Leadership can be exhausting. But I want the president to know that he has it in him. He is the hero. No one should be his hero, but he is his own hero. It's within him, and he must tap into it. I want him to know that he got the Liberian people's support. He should not listen to all the roaring lions. They are barking, but they have no teeth to bite. He is doing a great job. Keep his focus. He said road construction, road construction. He promised Liberian people two things: to alleviate poverty, to build the road, and agriculture. We see that he are building homes. In the past Turbo time, when they built Stephen Turbo Estate, Panave Estate, only the elites were living there. But now he building homes. It doesn't matter your class. It doesn't matter where you're from. Just be a Liberian. So my fellow Liberians, I want to say this is now. This is the change that God has given us. He has given us a leader, down to earth leader. What we need to do is to support him to take Liberia to the next level. Everybody making comparison. Look at Uganda, look at Ghana. But Liberia will not go forward if we have people who feel that they have to leave before we make progress. Again, to Mr. Ja, the Focus on Africa family, I want to say thank you very much on behalf of the women from opposition and the pro-government. We say thank you. We are glad that we are here, and we look forward to Friday that we can make our contribution and we can make our case to the Liberian people, and they will judge us, judge our performances. Thank you very much.
Ladies, thank you. Don't forget Debate Friday. And folks in cyberspace, also don't forget Debate Friday only on this network. Focus on Liberia. Folks in cyberspace, we want you to go on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Look for the wordings, Focus on Liberia, and subscribe. All our videos can be uploaded to YouTube so that if you miss the start, you can also go there and catch it. We are making what some people call digital footprint. We're making history. Be part of that history. Mr. Ja, close us.
Thank you, ladies, and thank our viewers for watching. This is Focus on Liberia. As always, we strive to educate, to elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We want you to continue to support us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, talk to us. We don't have all the ideas. Continue to call us, inbox us, give us a feedback, and let us improve this service. We want once again thank you so much for taking off your time to be with us. As we said, Friday we're going to be right here where 2 persons from the opposition women and 2 persons from the pro-government women will meet for a debate. That's our Friday night debate, and we don't want you to miss it. On behalf of all of us here at Focus on Liberia, we say good night and God bless you.
Liberia people,
Thank you so much. You're doing great.
All right, folks, that will do it for us, and bye-bye from us. Bye-bye.